strong building start with right footing. Pick the wrong one and your structure could crack or fail. Today, let's uncover 7 types of footing and when to use each for a rock solid foundation. Let's start with the most common, the isolate footing. It's used when a single column stands alone and needs support. Imagine a square or rectangular concrete pad placed under the column, spreading the load evenly into the soil. They are simple, cost-effective, and ideal for areas where soil has a good bearing capacity, usually more than 200 kN per meter square. You will see this in small residential buildings, boundaries, walls, and light structures. The second one is combined footing. When two or more columns are close enough that their individual footings would overlap, we merge them into one, and that's a combined footing. It's often rectangular or trapezoidal, and it distributes the load from both columns evenly. You will find combined footing when columns are near property lines or where space is limited. The third one is pile footing. Sometimes the top layer of soil is too weak to carry loads, so we have to go deep. This is where pile footing comes in. Piles are long, cylinder columns driven deep into the ground to reach a strong soil layer or rock. The load is then transferred through the pile caps into the piles. They are common in high-rise buildings, bridges, and coastal structures, places where safety demands going deeper than the eye can see. The fourth one is sloped footing. Slope footing is designed with an angled surface to reduce the amount of concrete used without compromising strength. The sloping shape helps in transferring the load smoothly into the soil, and it also resists sliding. They are mostly used for isolated footing in residential and commercial structures. The fifth one is raft or mat footing. When the soil is weak and the load is heavy, spreading it over a large area is the safest thing. That's the raft or mat footing. Here the entire building rests on one large thick slab of concrete, like a raft floating on water. It's used in basements, industrial buildings, and situation where columns are closely spaced. These designs reduce differential settlements. The sixth one is wall footing. As the name suggests, wall footing are continuous strips of concrete under walls. They are used in load-bearing wall construction, carrying the load of the wall and transferring it to the soil. Common in traditional houses and compound walls. The seventh and last is stepped footing. Stepped footing have multiple concrete layers that step down towards the soil, and these designs help in reducing material cost while still distributing the load properly. They are often used in sloping ground conditions or where the load gradually changes. A few important tips is always design footing based on soil bearing capacity. Consider load combination as per IS 456 or relevant building codes. Ensure proper curing for at least 7 days to achieve strength. Never compromise on steel reinforcements. Footing might be underground, but they are the hidden heroes of every building. The right footing means strength, safety, and peace of mind for decades. So next time you walk past a construction site, remember, the real work begins below the surface. See you in the next video. Thanks for watching.